check in on Rasheed and see what that silly panda is up to. Oh, look at that. Rasheed's reading one of his favorite books. When Rasheed reads, he knows that good readers think about the characters in the story. So that's what Rasheed's doing right now. He's thinking about the characters in the story. So what does that mean, to think about the characters? I mean, what even are characters? Luckily, Rasheed made us this nice anchor chart to help us figure it out. And the anchor chart tells us that characters are the people, the animals, or the things that are in a story that can think, feel, and act. So they can think, feel, and act. They're people, animals, or things that think, feel, and act. So if we look down here, people, just like you and me. So if you and me were in a story, we could be characters. We think, feel, and act. And then animals, like this panda here, kind of like Rasheed. You know, in the story, maybe the animals can think, feel, and act. And then even things, like here we got Lightning McQueen from Cars. In Cars, he thinks, feels, and acts. So even though he's a thing, he can think, feel, and act. So he's a character. And then what do we have over here? Well, it says not characters. We have a marker, and we have scissors. They're not characters. They don't think, they don't feel, they don't act. So they're not characters. Characters, nope, not characters. So characters are people, animals, or things that think, feel, and act. So now let's say we're reading a story about Rasheed and his friend the Red Power Ranger. They'd be characters because they think, feel, and act. But the couch they're sitting on, that's not a character because it doesn't do those things. So maybe you figured it out when you saw Lightning McQueen up there, that it doesn't need to be a book for it to have characters. TV shows and movies have characters too. So now we're going to talk about Spongebob. And if we watch SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob's a character. He thinks, feels, and acts. And then I'm going to change the background to blue since he lives under the water. He lives in the sea. And then he's got his friend Patrick. He's a character. He thinks, feels, and acts. And then I got another character that I'm going to pull up here. I got Squidward. Squidward thinks, feels, and acts. Squidward's a character too, and there's some other characters in the show too. But those are three important ones. So SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, they think, feel, and act. And when you're thinking about the characters in the story that you're either reading or watching, it's important to use details from that story that describe those characters. So if we're thinking about SpongeBob, what kind of a character is he? Well, I know he's happy. Something else I know about SpongeBob, I know he works at the Krusty Krab, so I'm going to drag that up there too. He works at the Krusty Krab. Those are two details from the story I know about the character SpongeBob. And, I know, if I'm talking about Squidward, a detail I know about him from the story, I know that he's grumpy. The story tells me he's grumpy. It also tells me he works at the Krusty Krab, so he's grumpy and works at the Krusty Krab. So I'm using details from SpongeBob SquarePants to describe the characters of Squidward and SpongeBob. And so the next time you're reading your favorite story or watching your favorite show, think about who some of the characters are, and think about the different details you can use to describe them. That's what good readers do.